What is going on, everyone? So in this video I'm going to be going over a great alternative to the DualSense controller. So you'll probably get this controller cheaper than the DualSense, but this controller comes with a lot of different features which I'm going to be going over in this video, but some of them to mention are like this LED lights. It also comes with two back buttons and Hall effect joysticks, and not to mention turbo mode. Now, if you watch my channel, you might have seen this video I did on this little product, and this is an attachment that attaches to your DualSense controller to add on 4 back buttons that are programmable. So this is actually the same company that made this product. Now they released their own PlayStation 5 controller. So I got this purple pinkish one that I played with for a couple of days now, and I just want to give you guys a quick overview of what this controller does and how does it match up to the DualSense controller. So some of the features the controller will have is the Hall effect joysticks, turbo mode, macro programming to different customized buttons, assignments, and Hall effect triggers. So you're also going to get your USB-C to USB cord for charging the controller. You're going to get this manual that's going to tell you how to use this controller, all the different options, how to connect it, how to program it. This will be in handy because the controller does come with quite a few different features which I will try to cover in this video. And if we get a closer look, it is similar to the DualSense. It does feel a little bit lighter, but you do get the great Hall effect joysticks, these RGB lightings, standard touchpad, 4 buttons here, the D-pad, but you do get your triggers here and your 2 back buttons. Now the cool thing about this controller, I gotta say, is very seamlessly easy to hook up to your PlayStation. It's just like your original DualSense controller. You just hook it up to the USB-C port, push the power button, and the controller will be recognized right away. You could unplug it, turn it back on, and you could just use it just like a regular controller. Okay guys, now we're gonna check out the circularity of the controller because these do have a Hall effect joysticks, and if we check on the circularity, it's almost perfect, almost basically zero air. So I got to say the joysticks are probably the most greatest thing of this controller. Out of everything are the Hall effects. You can see the circularity is spot on. All the other buttons work as they should, and the touchpad, even though it's a little bit smaller than the DualSense, it's working pretty well as well also. So if you want to map the buttons, I'll just show you guys how to do it. You're going to hold this button here, the set, and you're going to hear the controller vibrate. Once it vibrates and this is blinking, you're just going to assign, let's say, X to this back button here. So now when you push this back button, it's assigned to, I'm sorry, it's square. So let's do that again. We're going to hold the set button and it vibrates. Once it vibrates, we could also do a combination. Like let's do triangle, 0, square, R2, assign it to this button. We're going to hear it vibrates. And once we push it, we could see the combination. This is macro programming to all the buttons that we mapped. So you could map different combinations to the paddles, or you could just map single buttons like triangle or 0 if you want. Now if we push the turbo and the set button at the same time, the controller will vibrate, and if we push the set button here in the back, we can see that the RGB lights change to different colors. I'll keep it as purple as this controller is purple pinkish. Now something important, if we want to clear all the mapping or the macros we did, we have to hold this for 5 seconds. So if we hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we hear that it's going to vibrate. And once it vibrates, it's going to set this to default. The back buttons will be default, which is the L2 and the R2. And from here, we could start mapping it as we like. Now, one more other important feature I want to go over, and that is the turbo mode. So if we want to do turbo and right trigger, we just hold it at the same time. And now when we push it, as we can see that it spams this button. So your semi-autos will go to auto. And if we push it again, it goes back to normal. And if we do it again, as we can see, it goes to turbo. So we could also assign turbo to multiple buttons. All we have to do is push the turbo and the buttons that we want to assign it to. So now when we push these buttons, it's on turbo mode, and we could just continue doing it here and here. So now all these buttons are turbo. And if we want to go back to normal, we would just push the turbo and these buttons again. So these buttons go back to normal. So that's pretty neat. Alright guys, now that we talked about the basic features of this controller and the different functions it has, I'm going to jump into a game and play some Warzone on this. Alright, as with different controllers that you play with, it does take some time to adjust to. So I've been playing with different controllers now, so this controller is a little bit new. And the fact that it has only 2 back buttons, it's a little bit new to me because I've been playing with 4 buttons on basically all my controllers for the past, I don't know how long, but I do have to drop the sensitivity on this a little bit just because with the other controllers I play with, I use like aiming pads, what do you call it, control stick. So okay, this is a lot better. Okay, my team is here. Wow. Oh, unlucky. Still trying to get used to this joystick. What are they all doing there? I wouldn't judge this controller based on the gameplay, but what I could tell you guys from playing a few games is if you would play with this controller a bit longer, you would get accustomed to it. Now as for the 2 back paddles, I wish they had 4. Since I play with only 4 back paddles, I just had to get accustomed to the buttons a little bit because I only control 2 buttons here and I still had to control 2 buttons here with this finger, so I had to take it off from the joystick. You also get your standard jack here for the headphones that comes with it, the touchpad. So guys, if you guys want something other than the DualSense that's about the same price, even cheaper, that comes with different features, I think this would be a controller for you guys. And thanks for checking out this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description. So if you purchase this controller on Amazon, you'll get an additional 15% off. And you could do that by using the link that I'm going to leave in the description. This promotion ends on October 31st of 2025. So the total cost will be around $42 with the code. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just did a quick rundown what this controller does. I personally am not going to use this controller because I have other controller with 4 back paddles and that's what I'm used to. But if this controller did have 4 back paddles, I would consider playing with it. Thanks for watching. As always, make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you next time.